In today's video, guys, we're going to be going over the new #1 best controller settings here in Black Ops 6. Now, if you're having any trouble winning gunfights, you're not being accurate, and there's just some settings that you need to change that's going to make you a better player. So if you guys are new and find this video help you out in any way, make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and let's get into it. Now, getting into my settings here, we're going to start with our vertical and horizontal sensitivity here, which I have mine on AA. I've said this in every settings video so far here on Black Ops 6. AA is the perfect one. You're not overlooking people, you're not underlooking people. It's perfect. Now, if you're using a different sensitivity, you maybe be dropping it a little bit, you may be increasing it a little bit. You just got to get used to it a little bit. A lot of people have that problem. You're copying different settings down and you're just not getting used to it. If you're watching this video right now, put it on AA and never change it. Maybe play a few games, maybe for a couple hours, go play private match or something. I'm telling you, you are going to get more consistent with your shots just staying at one sensitivity. Don't keep changing it. And again, as always in my settings videos, I've had an A8 sensitivity, so I'm telling you, this is perfect. Go ahead and put them on A8. Now, we're going to drop down to our controller vibration and we're going to turn this off. Now, you do not want to have your vibration going off in your game. A door can cause vibration, your gun shooting, a grenade exploding, any explosion in the game. Small things in this game can cause vibrations in your controller, and if you're in a gunfight and your controller starts spazzing, that can make you lose a gunfight. I've said this a lot. Small things in this game can get you killed, and this is one thing in that game can, make you lose a gunfight, make you a better player, make your aim better. Turn this off. I'm telling you, it's going to make you a better player. Now, we're going to drop down to our dead zone inputs here, and you go ahead and copy them down, and I'm going to tell you why I'm using these things. For my left stick minimum input and maximum input, I have it at 3 and 65. Right stick is going to be 3 and 99, and my L2 and R2 button dead zone is going to be at 0, 0. Now, the question is going to be, why is my left stick maximum input at 65? Such a strange number. It's really not, just because you don't want it too low. You can do 60 to 65. I think 65 is going to be the better choice. Your left stick is only movement. So what if I were to test my dead zones, as you guys see here, I do not have to move my analog stick up as high for it to register a movement. Now, if I turn this off and reset it, it's at 99, which is, the default. I have to move my analog stick up more to increase and start registering that move. So I'm telling you, the lower the number that you do, which again, between 60 and 65 is going to be the good number here. You're not having to move your analog stick up as high to start that registering of that movement. So it's going to be easier on your Omni movement, your sprinting and running and everything. Put this at 65, and I don't really do anything for the right stick. I might start testing this out a little bit more to make a different video on it, but I just keep it at 99. And then for my L2 button and my R2 button dead zone, I put that at 0, 0, so my triggers are very sensitive. And I also have trigger stops on my controller, so I mean, it's just gonna make it more sensitive. And then for our right stick and left stick minimum, I have it at 3, so our controller is a little bit more sensitive on our analog stick, so we're not having to mesh down and break our controllers a lot. But I'm telling you, these are the best dead zones in the game. They're going to make your controller very sensitive, and it's going to keep it healthier, but you have to have a good, healthy controller. If you have a beat down, have stick drift and everything, these settings might not work, but they should work. They should work for most of you guys anyways. A big shout out to No Lag VPN for sponsoring today's video. No Lag VPN will help you reduce any game latency for a better and smooth connection when playing Call of Duty, and they can also help with easier lobbies. They currently have a huge 62% off sale going on with the new release of Black Ops 6. It's super easy to install, so give it a try. Link will be in the description. Now, for my aiming settings here, we're going to start with our sensitivity multiplier, and there's only two things that you need to change: ADS sensitivity multiplier and the multiplier while focused. We have this at 0.85. Now, you could drop this down to 0.80 if you really wanted to, but I feel like 0.85 is, I think it's fine. Now, I like to have this on just because in my gunfights, I'm aimed down sights, and my sensitivity is slower when I'm aimed down sights. So it's easier for me to track people if they're sliding everywhere, especially with the G slide in the game. You have the Omni movement, people diving everywhere, or just running in general. People can move fast with certain builds in the game, so you definitely want to be able to track your targets easier. And in my opinion, with the aim assist in the game and this, it's like a free aimbot. It's literally going to help you out so much in your gunfights. I'm telling you, put this at 0.85. It is going to help you out a ton in those gunfights. Now, for my aiming advanced settings, there's only two things that we need to change. Our ADS sensitivity transition timing, which is on instant here. We don't want it on gradual just because gradual is default, so make sure you are changing this. Now, what this does is when you aim down sights, it slowly changes to your ADS sensitivity multiplier, which is now 0.85 if you copy that setting. Instant is going to be as soon as you aim down sights, it's going to change your multiplier down to 0.85. Now, gradual, with how fast gunfights can be and how fast the time to kill is on certain weapons, you're never going to see your sensitivity multiplier if you change it, if you keep it on gradual. So most of your gunfights are going to be at 1.00 with that sensitivity multiplier. Instant, it's going to instantly change as soon as you start aiming down sights to 0.85, so it's going to be easier on your tracking and your accuracy in those gunfights. So this is a very small thing that you need to change, very important. And then for the last thing in here, we have our aim response curve type. All I'm going to tell you is change it to linear. This is the best thing that you can use for a controller player, so change it to linear. And I'm not going to change anything on the custom sensitivity per zooms things. We're not going to go into that. I don't think you need to go into that. And a lot of people talk about your aim response curve slope scale. I don't change it. I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to go too depth with it. I just think linear is just going to make you a better player with your aim and everything. And then here we have our target aim assist. We want to have it on. If you're playing without target aim assist, if you're on controller, all I can say is, what are you doing? I don't know why you wouldn't be playing without aim assist. It's like a free aimbot. I mean, it's literally a free aimbot in your aim assist settings. So definitely have this on if you have it off. Sometimes after updates and hot fixes, some settings can turn on and off, so you might have to occasionally look through your settings to see if certain things are off or on, but make sure you have your target aim assist on. This is extremely important. Now for my movement settings here, we have our sprint assist, which we have it on tactical sprint assist. Now if you're trying to have that aggressive play style, if you're trying to have the same play style as me, I'm running everywhere, I'm being in people's faces, just being super aggressive, this is going to be the first thing that you need to do. If you're trying to have the play style, if you're slowly trying to be a little bit more aggressive, this is going to help you out a ton. You're moving faster on the map with the tac sprint, and you're never going from a run to a tac sprint. You're just instantly going into a tac sprint. So I like to have this setting on. Again, it's just going to help you move faster around the map, and you can get that aggressive play style, get as many kills as you possibly can, moving faster around the map, getting into more engagements. Now, corner slice, I like to have this off. It's preference, really. If you like to have it on, keep it on. If you don't want it, turn it off. All this is do is if you're near a corner, you're going to kind of tilt a little bit so you can kind of see around the corner a little bit. I don't like to have this on, so I turn it off. It's just preference. Slide dive behavior, I like to have it on tap to dive. If you see my gameplays, you know I'm literally a dolphin when playing Call of Duty. I'm always diving, sliding some way. I'm just being super annoying in those gunfights. It increases a skill gap if you can master that omni movement, so I want you to do that. You know, it's going to be easier on you, especially if you have a controller that has a paddle on the back or something like that, or even just press and circle. All you have to do, if you're running, press circle, you're going to dive. So I like to have this on, juking people out, increasing my skill gap on other people. So this is an easy way to just juke people out and win more gunfights. And then for the last thing here, I want to talk about our movement advanced settings. And the only thing I want you to change here is going to be your single tap sprint. Default, I think it's double tap. We do not want that. Putting on single tap sprint, so as soon as you just press up on your analog stick, you're going to start running. So it's going to make it a little bit easier on your controller, your analog sticks and everything. And especially with our dead zone input being on our left stick at 65 at the maximum input, it's going to make it a little bit easier. So again, you don't have to press up as much when using your tactical sprint here. Now for my graphic settings here, we're going to start with our quality, which I have my world motion blur, weapon motion blur, and depth of field. We have this all off. We do not want our game looking blurry, grainy, anything like that. We want our game to look nice and perfect, no blurriness. So we want to have these all off. Fidelity cast, we want to have this on. This is going to allow your game to look a little bit more sharper, and a lot of people ask me about the quality. I run a PS5, don't run the PS5 Pro or anything like that. I will tell you to get the best quality. Put the fidelity cast on, and put the strength on 50. I think you could even move it up to 60. I wouldn't go too much where the game looks a little too grainy. We do not want that with the sharpness, so I would keep it at 60, 50, somewhere in that area. That's all you need to do. And then for my on-demand texture streaming, I have this on optimize, and I have the cache on large. I don't know if that does anything extra on the quality or anything like that, but if it does, copy the settings down. It's going to make the game look a little bit better for you. And then for my view settings here, we have our field of view, FOV, 115. Don't go any higher than this. The human eye will not be able to tell between 115 and 120. And also, if you do have it maxed out at 120 sometimes, you can get a little bit of delay. We do not want any of that or don't want to risk it. So put this at 115. Again, your eye is not going to be able to tell the difference between 115, 120, anywhere past 115 really. So I like to keep it at 115. Now for my ADS field of view and weapon field of view, we have on an affected and wide. Now what this is going to do is make our weapon smaller, and also when we aim down sights, the camera isn't going to move in when we aim down sights like it would on independent. Now if weapons, like there's a lot of weapons in this game that have a lot of visual recoil and a lot of recoil, having these settings on affected and wide is going to make the visual recoil and the recoil on the weapons, they're not going to look as bad just because our camera is all zoomed out and everything. So the field of view, affected and wide, is all going to play a part with weapons having a lot of visual recoil and a lot of recoil, and it's not going to look as bad. So make sure to copy those down. It's going to help out a ton in those gunfights. And then for the last thing I want to talk about in my graphic settings is going to be our first person camera movement and our third person camera movement as well. We want to put this on 50%. I copied this down from Shotzi, and you know, people that move around crazy and everything with the movement, they just said it's not going to make the camera shake as bad. So you definitely want to copy these down. Now for our audio settings, there's not really too many things I want to talk about. Our master game volume is at 70, and the only things that I have on is going to be my dialogue and effects volume at 100. I mean, it just goes off by your ears, what kind of headset you're using, if you're using earbuds, if you're playing off a speaker, and it just really just depends on how your sound is. I don't think this is really important. All I would say, if you do change these, your dialogue volume and effects volume should be the only things on, maxed out at 100. That's all I can really say. Now, for my audio mix, I have headphone bass boost. The headset I'm running is an Astro A40. I think everyone can recommend these, and there's a lot of good other headsets in the game as well. You just gotta get one. I feel like having something on your ears is going to make you a better player, and especially having on the headphone bass boost, you're gonna be able to hear your opponent's footsteps a lot clearer and everything. And this is like one setting that can make you a better player. Being able to hear people around you is super, super important. Making suppressors louder so you can hear them a little bit easier, footsteps, I mean, just everything comes into play. Making the game louder can help you out a ton, so make sure to put this on headphone bass boost. And then for the final thing I want to talk about is our hit marker preset. A lot of people comment this on my videos. How does your hit marker sound like this? Put it on classic. It's going to be the OG Black Ops 4 classic hit marker noise, which is super clean. So this is all we got to talk about in our audio settings. And then get into our interface settings in our final part in today's video. There's only a few things that we need to change here in our gameplay HUD. The only thing that we need to change, first thing, is going to be our HUD preset. Now, you can choose any of these. It does not matter. Choose what you like. It does not matter. I just kept it as standard. We're going to our visuals, and this is where we're going to be changing a few things. Now, what I want you to do is minimap shape. You're going to put this on square. You see more of a square, then you do a circle. So if you call a scout pulse in, a UAV, if someone's shooting on the map without a suppressor or a harp, you're going to be able to see more of the map than you would with a circle. So put this on square. Compass type is going to be at horizontal. I don't really like it on the mini map. Now, what this is going to do, just in case someone calls in a counter UAV on the other team, if you still call in a scout pulse, someone calls on a UAV, someone's shooting without a suppressor, or if you get a harp up, you're still going to be able to see people on the compass. So if it's going to show you like northwest, southeast, it's going to tell you where people are going to be at. So horizontal on the compass type is literally like another free UAV as some way. It's going to help you out a little bit. A rotation of the mini map, we want to have this on. Now for our scale, I like to have this up. We're going to put it at least, 15 to 20. I like to have this on 20. Now, this is going to make the minimap look a little bit bigger, so it's going to help out a little bit more, being able to see the minimap. You need to read the minimap. I'm telling you, the minimap when playing Call of Duty is your best friend. So put this at 120. It's going to make the minimap look a little bit bigger so you can read it a little bit easier as well. So we want to keep this at 120. And then we're going to back out here and we're going to talk about our player names. We're going to have this on full name. Now, if someone has a long name with a clan tag and everything, they're at a disadvantage, believe it or not. Now, there's same things like it was in Modern Warfare 3. You can look through walls and you can look through doors and everything sometimes and be able to know if someone's there just because their name pops up for a quick second. Again, people having longer names with a clan tag and everything is at a disadvantage. Now, there's one thing I can tell you. If you have a shorter name, it can help you out a lot just because of certain bugs in the game. People can look through doors. People can look through walls. Sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. So having it on full name could make you get just like a free cheesy kill. And then for the final thing here is going to be our crosshairs. We want to have this on. Make sure our crosshair dot is on. Center dot scale is at largest. Crosshair spread is on. crosshair opacity is at 100, and I just have that at the default color. Now, what these settings are going to do is going to help you with your centering. Now, that is probably the most important thing in Call of Duty, in any first-person shooter that you can have, is having good centering, and a lot of people have difficult times with their centering. I can tell you, the only way I can tell you on how to center yourself better, copy these settings down and pay attention to that dot in the middle of the screen. That is literally the center of the screen. So wherever that circle is or that small dot is where you need to be aiming. That's what you need to be shooting with. I'm telling you, that can help you be such an amazing player. But here are the new best controller settings here in Black Ops 6 Season 1. I hope these controller settings help you out, and if you want to let me know in the comments what is something that you change, and also if you want to let me know if these settings helped you out a lot. But guys, thanks so much for watching. You guys stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.